Today we're going to be tabbing our CPT book. I'm going to demonstrate how to do this on the 2024 book. I'm also going to show you the 2023 book because I like to show a little bit of the difference between the tabs that come in the book versus the ones that you can purchase online. So Medical Coding Tabs Co. was kind enough to send us their CPT book tabs for free because they liked that I showed their last tab set for ICD-10-CM. And honestly, the tabs for 2023 and 2024 are the same. The only thing I noticed was a slight change in the color of green used on the surgery tabs. And of course, it goes without saying that the page numbers that you're going to put them on will be slightly different. Now, having said that, the methodology of how to tab your books does not change, and the tabs that come in the book for CPT versus the ones for ICD-10-CM aren't even that robust. They're pretty basic. So you can see here's the ones for 2023, here's the ones for 2024. The shading of the green is slightly different for 2024. I did pull one of these tabs out. I also want to show you, this is my 2023 book. This is literally all the tabs that I have on it for my day-to-day coding usage. Not everyone tabs their book every year. Most people only tab it for the purposes of their exam or while they're still getting ready and familiar with medical coding, but it's not something that most coders do every single year. But since most of my content is geared towards those that are about to sit for their certification exam, I want to demonstrate for you how to do this. Now, I'm going to start with the 2023 book and the book tabs that are already included by the AMA. Again, they are not the most robust. You might want to get, in addition to that, the letters. I think you can buy these online somewhere or on OfficeMax, or even if you want to use your own tabs to put your little alphabetic index letters in the back. It might be a little bit crowded depending on where you want to put them, but that is an option for you. One of the first things I recommend when you're tabbing your book is to just go ahead and take this sheet out. Just rip it very carefully out of your book so that way you don't have to flip back and forth to grab the tabs. They're already readily accessible because you've separated them out. Now, this is all the instructions that come with the tabs. They don't tell you what pages to put in. They don't tell you what side to put them on. Most people just put them all across the side. So again, there really isn't a right or wrong way to do this. I'm sure some people have a certain methodology and they will tell you that that is the right way to do it. But honestly, it is really up to you. So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate to you how to do this. If you want to follow along exactly as I do, that's fine. If you want to put some of them on the top, like if you want to put the red and blue ones on the top and the surgery on the side, that's fine as well. Now, first I'm going to remove, I have one of the yellow tabs in here already. You have to be careful if you had them in here for a while and you want to move them because you can see I got a little bit of paper on there. I like to use these just to flag my page. So you might want to just stick them like maybe on the inside of your book. And then if you want to use them as a bookmark, you can use those as a bookmark. So the first section that we have on here, these red sections are E&M, Radiology, Category 2 and Category 3 codes. So the first section in our CPT book is E&M. Even though it's not the numerical one, it is the first one in the book because it is just so commonly listed across all different sections. Now, one thing you can do if you want is you could place the tab right where that little section is. That's a good methodology if you want to just do that. And that way, you know, everything is kind of in a uniform reason of why it's there. Next, we have our anesthesia. So we're going to take anesthesia. We're going to put that one right there. After that, let's see here. We start getting into our surgery section. So here's our surgery section, and these are, if you'll notice with the tabs, they're all green for all of the surgery sections, even though the inner subsections of the surgery, like the integumentary, is a lighter green, and then we have like musculoskeletal is orange. Those aren't color coordinated with the tabs that come inside the book. So here's our just general surgery guidelines. We'll put our tab there, and then right after that is going to be integumentary. Integumentary. Now, while the code ranges are right in this inside section, they don't have them on the tab. So if you're kind of looking things up by code range, it's more difficult because this just has integ. So you have to know that that's the integumentary system and what code ranges are in there, or flip open to kind of look. So if I'm in here and I'm looking for code 14000, this doesn't give me an indication of where that is versus some of the other tabs that we have available, like the ones for Medical Coding Tabs Co. or Medical Coding Girl. They might have the code ranges in there. So in here, we would have to kind of flip open and see what the code ranges are. So next is our musculoskeletal. Here's our green musculoskeletal tab. We'll put it right there. And after that should be our respiratory. Musculoskeletal is a big section. So respiratory is lightly slightly different shade of orange there. So here's our respiratory. Now, if you want to just go ahead and put these in order, you want all of them to kind of be evenly spaced, you can do that as well. And again, these are removable, that you can remove them and replace them if we want. So they're not stuck down permanently. Some of the tabs that you find that you might put in yourself or that you can buy on Etsy or eBay, they have a stronger glue, so they might rip if you try to remove them and replace them. Here is cardiovascular, so we'll put that right there. Next, we're going to go digestive. So that's our purple section here. I think they kept the color coordinating the same from 2023 to 2024. So cardiovascular. Again, if you want to put this, like match it up right where that little indentation is, that's fine. I'm kind of putting mine more so in the middle because that's just where I want to put them. That's personal preference. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I kind of stuck that on the wrong side there. How about that? Oh, good thing we can remove it. Digestive. I was one page too short. There we go. Digestive. Next is our urinary. So right here. So we have this green tab here, and we'll put that right there. Next is male genital system. Tab goes right there. And then we're going to flip to the female, which isn't too many pages over, so don't flip too many. Over to our female. And again, these tabs that come with them are not the best tabs. So if you see on here, it just says F/gen, and we're just supposed to know that means female genitalia. If you're rushing through an exam and your brain is fried, it might be a little harder to remember off the top of your head that that's what that means. Okay, so after that, we're gonna go, again, this is a small section, so endocrine should be right after it. Oh no. Yeah, family and maternity, I think, is included with female stuff. So next is our endocrine. Here it is, endo. Almost missed it. Endo. Kind of odd that they're not in order. You see here, we're already kind of like, look at this. These are practically overlapping here. So again, if you wanted to move these a little bit, you are welcome to do that if you don't want them overlapping. Let's see, after endocrine, because that is a tiny section, we have nervous. And after that, we start getting into the surgery, ocular and eye, and auditory. This is all grouped together. Eye, ocular, auditory. And after that, we should be all done with surgery and into our, so this is ocular auditory. They didn't make an auditory tab. That's just kind of included in this whole section. I mean, auditory is not a big section of CPT. Operating microscope, now we're into radiology. So we have the red tab for radiology. That goes over here. After radiology, we have Path and Lab. That's our blue one over here, Path and Lab. That kind of goes there towards the end. After Path and Lab, now we're going to start getting into some of these different medicine ones. The medicine ones are also green. Apparently, green tabs, I guess, must be the good ones that they get a good discount on. So is there a specific, yeah, there's this one for the whole medicine category. We'll put the medicine category one right there at the front of the medicine section. And then we have, well, the medicine section, they don't have the little indentations for each one. So let's see what we got here. Did I miss some sections? Look at this. I got gastro and pulmonary over here. What did I miss? I haven't done this in so long. So let's see. Let's just go through what we've got here. So if we look at our medicine section, here's our vaccines. That's that. Allergy, I think, is around here somewhere. Are these even in order? We got vaccines, and it tells us on, if you're not sure which edition that you're putting in, check your guide and it will tell you what page that section is in. So I'm just going to stick it over here. Going to overlap a little bit. So I'm just going to stick my vaccines there. Next is our psychiatry. So that I'm going to just kind of eyeball and put there. Psychiatry, and then we have, here we go. Do we have a psychiatry tab though? I don't see a psychiatry tab. Maybe we are going to consider that behavioral health. Nope, because behavioral health is over here, adaptive behavior services. Okay, so we don't have a psychiatry one. Dialysis, we're going to move over here, and then we have ophthalmology. Ophthalmology, again, is also a very small section. We'll put that right about there. Next should be pulmonary, it looks like. Here we go, pulmonary. I feel like there's really no big rhyme or reason for some of these. Pulmonary, like why do we have a pulmonary one but not a cardio? I guess because they didn't want to make two cardio tabs. Neurology and allergy. Okay, so here's our allergy section. And the allergy tab I'm going to put right here at the end, followed by neurology. That's right up here. So I already kind of spaced them evenly out. So I'm going to start back up here now, neurology, and then into our medicine. There we go, behavioral, adaptive and behavior services. So this is behavioral health. Put it down just a little bit further. And then I have this gastro tab. I'm not quite sure where the gastro tab is supposed to go. Let's see if I can figure it out. Okay, right here, gastroenterology. It's page 739 in this section. Okay, gastroenterology. All right, I'm gonna put this one over here, and I'm gonna move my ophthalmology one then over just a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to put on our category 2 section, and then category 3 is shortly after that. So right at the start of category 3 is where that's going to go. Category 3. And then what do we have left? It looks like our appendices and our index, and we just have a tab for the whole index. These are our appendices, very important. Of course, Appendix A is our long definitions of the modifiers, probably my favorite appendices. I'm going to start up here. I'll do 1 for Appendix A through B, and then we have C through F, Appendix C through F, and then next is G through J. Now, Appendix G starts over here, but we're not going to stick the tab over there because then we can't face it in the right direction. We want to open up to this whole area. So we're going to stick that over here. And then Appendix K through P. So here's our Appendix K through P. And then Appendix Q, Q through T. And then our CPT index back here, they just provide one tab for. If you want to start it over here versus the instructions, that's fine. But I'm going to put mine over here. I kind of want to evenly space out my blue ones so that they're not overlapping too much. And that's it. So if you want to use these extras as bookmarks or to flag certain extra sections, you can do that as well. So if I wanted to make one, for example, for some additional sections, maybe in Path and Lab, since that is a big section that we have just that one tab for, you could do that. Or if there's different medicine sections maybe that you want, you can do that as well. Now I want to move on to the ones that I have from Medical Coding Tabs Co. And these are the 2024. Again, they include the little alphabet letters for the index. So let's go through and see how they want us to place these, because their instructions are a whole lot better than the ones that comes with the book. So these have instructions that are a little bit more robust, and they also have placement guide. So here is where the tabs go based off of placement. Here is our letters for the index. And look, they took my suggestion and they added the letters there so I don't lose the place. I might actually want to do those first and then kind of get into the top tabs we have here, and then the side tabs, which I love that they tell you which are which and where exactly to put them. So I'm actually going to start with doing my index because I know that might be a little bit labor intensive to get all of those letters on. So I want to kind of start there and get that placement grid here and get those situated first. So here is the instructions, and then I'm actually going to put the A right here on the front, even though the A's kind of technically start on the second page. Gently pull that off. I had a little crooked. There we go. A, and then I'm going to find my B's. So here is where the B's start. And I'm going to take my page, put it here, and align my B. Next is our C, so we're just going to flip through to find out where the C's start. They're right here. And then take your C tab and put it over here. Now, a lot of the different ones that you can purchase online have the letters, so you can follow the same methodology with any of the ones that have the index letters. Next, we're going to go find our D page. Well, D page is over here, and it starts with D vitamin. So A, B, C, D. Mine are going to be a little crooked because I'm just doing this for demonstration and I'm not looking to win a beauty pageant with my book. Here we have E. And then we're going to look for where our F starts, and then F for face. I'm going to go right here, and then our G. G, gabapentin is where that starts. G for gabapentin. Okay, and then that goes right there. Next, we're going to find our H page. This is probably the most intensive part, is putting the alphabetic index letters on there. Not everyone who codes looks up things in the index. Unlike ICD-10-CM, the instructions for CPT are a little bit different. If you're familiar with the ICD-10-CM instructions, they tell you that you have to start in the tabular list and then locate the book. They tell you that you have to start in the alphabetic index and then locate it in the tabular list and then verify that that's the correct code. With CPT, you actually don't have to start in this index. You can start just by going to that section. So for example, if a patient is having their gallbladder removed, you know that that's part of the digestive section. So you go to surgery and then digestive, or you can just check the table of contents in the surgery GI section and find the code that way. You don't have to start in the index. And a lot of coders actually get slowed down by trying to look things up in the index because it gives you such wide ranges. Like here, antibody detection, and here's all kinds of different stuff. Like here it says for herpes, there's different code ranges. Here's a different code range for incisions, I think, of the nose. So sometimes it's easier to just go right to that section. So here is J. Next is, we're going to go JK. So K is actually here on the next page, and L is on here as well. So we're going to actually put J and L on the same page when we're tabbing them. I'm sorry, K and L. K and L are going on the same page. K and okay. And then next, M. You know, I was reviewing so many tabs. I'm really hoping these are the ones that come with medical coding tabs because I got several alphabetic sets, and two of them I think looked the same, but maybe not. Next is our N. So we're only halfway done with this. This takes a while, I'm telling you. This is why most coders don't do this every year, because it is very labor intensive, and technically speaking, your employer is not really paying you to sit and make your book look pretty. So some people, you know, especially since medical coding is so productivity based, it's not something that I think a lot of places would want to be done on the clock because it is labor intensive and then takes away kind of from your coding productivity. So a lot of coders have to make that decision between, okay, am I going to do this off the clock and take the, you know, however long it takes to get everything tabbed to my liking, or am I just not going to tab? So again, we have here Q and R are technically on the same page. So when we tab this, the tabs are going to go on the same page. Otherwise, we're not going to be at the right spot when we go and pull from the tab. And that's fine to have two tabs on the same page. L and R. Next is S. Getting closer. We're almost done here. So there goes S. And then T. It's no wonder if U and V are going to be on the same page. Let's take a look. Maybe not. Nope. Different. So tumor, uterus. Oh wait, here we go. U, yeah, U has its own page. U, and then V, probably right after that. V, W. Now, if you want to take your time and you want to straighten them out, feel free to do that. If you want to follow along, but you're taking longer and because you're being more careful, you can absolutely watch this at a slower speed. So YouTube does allow you the capacity to change speed. And sometimes if I talk too fast or talk too slow, you can absolutely change the speed of the video to your liking. I know some people are in regions where people don't talk as fast as I do, so they might want to just slightly slow down the video speed to kind of accommodate that. And then Z. And here's the most important piece of real estate, our notes pages. Now remember, when you're writing notes in here, you can't write your study guide questions, you can't write questions from your curriculum, you can write concepts, you can write abbreviations, but you can't write like your questions and answers and stuff from study guides and your textbooks and stuff in there. All right, so next I'm going to work on these top tabs. Here's the grid to place the top tabs, and then here are the top tabs themselves. Introduction, illustrations, which is oh my god, like so critical to have those illustrations tabs. And then they tell you exactly what pages to put them on. Now, if you're working with a different edition or an older edition and you buy the wrong year, just keep in mind you can still use these tabs. It's just that the page might be a little bit different. So let's start here in our introduction page. So here's our introduction. We're going to take this, we're going to put our spacer right here. We're going to take our introduction tab, and this one goes on the top. So we're sticking it right there. Now, however much of this you want to have up a little bit or down a little bit, again, that is up to you, depending on how much tab you want protruding. If you want to have a little bit of red maybe sticking up, you can put it right there. If you want to have it like right that this tab is sticking up at the same level as the page, that's fine. Okay, next is our anatomical illustrations. So this goes right here on the list of illustrations and where to find them. So here is our list of illustrations, where to find them, prefixes, suffixes. Know where this is for your exam. Good thing to have a tab here. Next, we're going to go to our surgery guidelines. So that's going to go at the top of our surgery section. Surgery guidelines. We're in 1, 2, 3 right there. And then after that, it looks like is our category 2. We're going to place that on our tabs. So category 2 is all the way here in the back. So this one goes at the very, very end. And then with this, you flip it around for the next section. So our category 3 codes are going to start in the next section. Category 2, category 3 is over here. I can see from the pages, it also tells me right here what page it's on, 907. Okay, category 3, Appendix A, modifiers, that's my favorite. You can tell that these tabs, like they really thought about what coders are going to need, especially for the exams and stuff, and aren't just like arbitrarily making tabs for things that are 2 pages apart. Although I think, considering the appendices aren't used that much, I might have left just 1 tab for the appendices. That's just me though. So 1, 2, 3. And then we got all 3 for that row. We're flipping over again. Appendix G through L, which is on page 987. That certainly speeds everything up, just knowing the exact page. Okay, 1. Next page is 1002. And that is where we are putting Appendix M through O and P through T on page 1068. I like to put them all over here, but if you technically want to, I guess you could put them over here. I just think it would be then uneven as far as placement. And 1081, and that's our index, and we're gonna put that right there. Okay, perfect. Next, we got all the top tabs done, so we're gonna have a whole bunch of them now that go on the side. And so we're going to flip back to the front of our book to our E&M section. Again, evaluation and management, even though it's the 90,000 codes, we stick it in the front because we use it the most. Let me make sure that I got my right placement guide. I don't want to mess this up. Here we go. Placement guide. All right, evaluation and management. We're gonna stick right here. Oh, I want to make sure I can see that. So we're gonna have to move this up so that I make sure that it's sticking out. So I'm gonna have to make sure that this is real close to the edge here so that I can see that code range. Okay, next is anesthesia. So that goes on page 66 too. You know, it's interesting, but when you look at the tabs that come with the book, I feel like, did I even get one for anesthesia? I guess I did. Where the heck did I put it? Maybe I missed it in my other one. Because here's my anesthesia tab. Where did I put that one in my, my 2023 book? Oh, there it is. I just couldn't see it because there was another tab there. Oh, anesthesia. And these are color coordinated, so they do match up with the colors that are in here. Next is our integumentary, page 82. So integumentary, that's our 3rd one down, 1, 2, 3. We're gonna put it right there. Musculoskeletal on page 127. And we're down 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's so nice that this color coordinates instead of just having them all be green. Musculoskeletal respiratory is after that. So here is our respiratory section. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna Can you tell? This is why I'm not a surgeon and I just code the surgeries instead, because I do not have steady hands by any stretch of the imagination. Absolutely not. Okay, cardiovascular. And that was our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're putting it right there. And then lymph will be on section 7, 329 for our 2024 edition. Now, if you're watching this and you've got a different edition, just go to the section where human lymph starts with this code range. So I'm gonna flip over and see if everything's evenly spaced out. Yeah, looking good so far. I like these tabs, I really do. Okay, 7, so that's gonna go right here. Now the one bad thing is that since these aren't clear on the bottom, they're gonna cover over this little section here, but it's gonna give you the same information on the tab. So it's not completely detrimental. And then next, we're going to move over to our digestive, 341. That goes on the end. Next is urinary on page 403, or code range 40010. I'm sorry, 50010. Did I say 4? Now we're going to slip our guide, and we're going to put the urinary one right here. Now that is one that does not match the color that's in the code book, but honestly, when I think urinary, I would probably think yellow, so I'm kind of happy with the yellow tab. Let's see here. 54000, page 429 for this edition. All right, so male genital system, and we're on section 2 here. Next is reproductive on page 435, and that's our third tab down. 1, 2, 3. All right, there. Female genitalia, 439, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I kind of do like that they made them pink versus matching with the book. And then maternity care is over here. Maternity care and delivery, and that's in tab 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna put that right there. Endocrine is over here. Endocrine system, and that's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right there. Again, if you misplace them, feel free to just very carefully, and I would go from this side versus trying to just pull them off this way, kind of tuck under there and pull them off that way. Next, we have our nervous system, code starting with 61000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That goes here. And next we have ocular adnexa, code starting with 65091. And that's the last one for this row, which means we're going to do what? We're going to flip it back over and start a new row. So auditory, code starting with 69000. Operating room microscope, 527. I always lose the operating room microscope. I am one that every time I go to have to code for that, I'm like looking in the wrong section. So having a tab for that is really good, because for some reason, I always forget where it is. We're moving on to radiology. Now, technically, if you want to put it where the radiology codes start, you can, because there's a lot of guidelines here. I'm actually going to start mine right where the section itself is. 1, 2, 3. Gonna put that right there. Pathology, we're gonna put over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then our medicine section. We have one tab for the medicine section. 5. Okay. Now, that is it for the ones from Medical Coding Tabs Co. One of the differences you can see kind of in between tabbing this version versus the ones that come in the book is that the ones that come in the book have a lot of different subsections for medicine. So if you want one for, maybe you code a lot of vaccines and you need one for vaccines, you can always just take the one that's like in the book and maybe stick it down at the bottom or stick it somewhere else in here. That's totally fine to do if you feel that you need an extra tab, or you can take, again, one of these just blank ones and write them in. And then here we have our beautifully finished product. I like the way that you can see everything as you're kind of looking at the side of the book. It's very easy to read, very clear. I think there's a lot of space, it seems like, in here. So it might be weird to have that much big of a gap between some of these and then have all the appendices tabbed. But I love the way it looks as far as color, as far as ease of use. If you need more help with how to tab your ICD-10-CM book, you can watch this video over here. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. And until then, just keep on coding on.